Hello and welcome back to Parallax Scrolling for Web Design. The last bit of HTML we want to create here is for the navigation menu. And we're going to do that up at the very top. This nav bar is going to be fixed to the very top. Even after we scroll down, that nav bar is going to stay at the top of our browser window. And so we're going to do that above all the other content. So just inside the body tag, we're going to create a nav element. And I'm going to go ahead and give it an ID of main-nav. And we'll skip a couple lines and put our closing nav element. And then inside this nav element, I'm going to put an unordered list, and each list item within that unordered list is going to be a link on our nav bar. So we'll create the unordered list here with the opening UL tag, skip a couple lines and put the closing UL tag. And then inside that unordered list, we'll put our first list item. In that list item, we're going to have an anchor tag, and I want to give each of these anchor tags a class so that we can point to these separately in our CSS and JavaScript. So we're going to set our class for this first one equal to Earth, and this particular link is going to take us to the very top of the page. And so we're going to set the href here equal to £Earth. Now this is different than this class here. We're actually, by pointing to £Earth here, we're pointing to this particular div right here that has an ID of Earth. And the reason I'm pointing to this one instead of one of the articles, instead of this top article here, is because this Earth image is at the very, very top of the browser. And we want this link to take us to the very top of the browser window. So that's what we're pointing to. So the text inside that link is going to say back home. And then we'll put our closing anchor tag and our closing list item tag. So on the next line, we'll put another list item with another anchor in it. And this particular link is going to point to the moon section. So we're going to give this a class of moon, and our href is going to be £moon. Now we haven't created this ID of moon anywhere, so we need to create that so that this will actually have something to link to. But let's go ahead and finish out this particular line first. We have href moon. And then inside that particular anchor tag, we're going to have the text moon, and then we'll close our anchor tag and close our list item tag. So this particular anchor tag here is going to point to the article, if we scroll down, that has the moon text in it, that has the H2 tag that says fly me to the moon. So we're going to set that article ID equal to moon. And that way, whenever we click on that moon link, it will take us, it'll scroll down basically to this section. We'll go ahead and fill in the rest of our IDs here. For this next article with Rocket Man as the title, we're going to set our ID equal to Rocket. And then down here for the last one, where we have the See the Planets section, we'll set the ID for that article equal to Saturn. And there we go. So those are the IDs we need to point to in our links. So let's scroll back up to the top where we have our links. We've done our home and our moon links. Let's go to the next line, create another list item with an anchor tag that has a class of rocket. The href will point to £, and then rocket. And then we'll put the text spaceflight here. And then close our anchor tag and close our list item tag. And then one more. We'll have another link inside this list item with a class of Saturn. And for our href, we'll point to Saturn. Oops, we got to spell that right. URN, there we go. And then here we'll point to, or the text we'll put here is going to be See the Planets. And then again, our closing anchor tag and closing list item tag. Now this isn't going to be very pretty just yet, but if we save our file and refresh our page, then nothing happens. We can't see it. Let's go back and see what we did wrong here. Oh, we need to point to the right folder here. Instead of lesson 7 end, we need to point to lesson 8 end. And there we go. Okay, so there's our menu up here at the top. And we can sort of test it, but not really. If we click on moon, it'll scroll down, but it only scrolls down to the very bottom. Obviously, it can't scroll down any further than that. Ideally, when we click on the moon link, it will scroll all the way down until this Fly Me to the Moon section is at the top of the browser. And again, obviously it can't do that just yet because we don't have enough content to allow that to scroll up that far. So it just scrolls down as far as it can. But we can go ahead and click on each of these just to make sure that it does at least scroll down to the bottom of the page. And it does. All right, so We've got our navigation in place. We've got our images in place. So in the next video, we can actually get started styling this thing and making it look right. So we'll get started with that in the next video. Thank you for watching.